It was up to 22 hours.
On January 2nd, and as revised on July 14, 2015, adequate notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been furnished by inclusion thereof in the annual schedule of meetings for 2015, which has been posted on the bulletin board at the Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, faxed to the Our Town, the Record, and the Community News newspapers, and distributed to all persons if any requesting copies of same pursuant to said act. In case of an emergency or fire alarm, you must evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. They are immediately to my right, and the double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
Reverend Duncan, would you please come up with this invitation?
Almighty God, we know that this town is a wonderful town, full of enthusiasm, full of spirit, full of spirituality. And in this meeting, we are working toward the best for the entire town, the entire city, the state, the whole world, for what we do rightly. We thank you, God, and we ask you to give us divine judgment, give us enlightened wisdom, help us to see the right way to go in all ways. And as we follow you, as we listen to you, we will know the right and perfect way to move. And we already say thank you for all those in the town who've been part of putting this all together. And we move forward with joy, especially in this Christmas season. We move forward with confidence, saying Happy New Year. We move forward with our faith being deepened because the Christ is right here in each and every one. And we say thank you, Father. Amen.
Amen. Would everyone please join me to salute the flag? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Fabre.
Here.
Council members: Trevino.
Here.
DeGea.
Here.
Eisenberg.
Here.
Mesa.
Present.
Lindenau.
Here.
Barone.
Here.
Borough Attorney Ron Lazario.
Here.
Borough Administrator Rhoda Stone is absent. Borough Clerk Jean Flager is present.
Mr. Pontiac, would you please come up and give your report?
Thank you. Honorable Mayor and Council, tonight we issued a report dated the 16th for today's meeting. The first item on the list is the Economic Recovery Program grant, which is the Maywood pump station. We understand from Mr. Dario's office that the agreements have been addressed with respect to the office building on Maywood Avenue in the borough of Maywood, and then also on Spring Valley, I apologize, and then also the property located in Paramus, the Hand Gym property. Based upon that, our office has prepared an NJDP TWA permit. It's been submitted to the borough for signature, and I know on tonight's agenda there's a resolution which would authorize the mayor and Ms. Stern to sign the application so that we could file it with the state. Also, at the same time, a package is being delivered to the borough of Paramus, since there's a connection in the borough of Paramus, which will be signed by the mayor of Paramus so that that can be furthered. Permit acquired. We would anticipate construction with respect to the project occurring this upcoming summer. The PSE&G project, which is on Central Avenue, as you can all see, the project has demobilized. Paving occurred with respect to that location, so they have shut down construction for the holidays. We don't have any update with respect to the 69 kV project, which would occur on Maywood Avenue to Spring Valley. The next item on the list is the Maywood Avenue Streetscape project. This week, the contractor provided final insurance documents, which we forwarded over to the borough attorney for final review. It appeared to our office that they were acceptable, but once final legal review, if they are deemed acceptable, we would forward the contracts for signature by the mayor. The next item on the list is the Jersey Avenue Parkway 2015 roadway improvement project. The contractor is going to proceed after the holidays with respect to all of the work other than the concrete work, because if there was to be inclement weather, we wouldn't want to see that new concrete damaged by silt, so that will be held off on until the spring, but the remainder of the work would be completed after the holidays. The various sidewalk improvement projects, that work has been completed. I know we submitted some documentation with respect to it that the borough has acted upon. The stop sign location studies, which included East Magnolia Avenue and Concord Drive, Elm Street and Grove Street, Palmer Avenue and Coolidge Avenue. Our office on December 8th had submitted studies to the governing body for review and consideration. Based upon those studies, stop signs could be installed at those three intersections per our review of those particular intersections. The final item on our list is the West Passaic Street bus stop crosswalk. I know Mayor Fabre last meeting had requested us to take a look at that location to see if a crosswalk would be viable. We contacted the county, attended a meeting on December 15th with the county and borough administrator. Based upon our office's review, the county's review, the crosswalk would be acceptable to install. The crosswalk would not be considered a mid-block crossing, so there would be no need for freeholder board approval. The borough could do it on its own. The county would only pay for those signage. The borough would be responsible to pay for the ADA ramps, the crosswalk painting, and there is a tree located at that intersection of Palmer and West Passaic, which would need to be removed. That tree is in poor condition. It's not a tree that is vibrant and surviving, but it would add cost to the project. We would be glad to move forward or solicit to have that work occur, or if that would be incorporated in a future project, the borough could do so. That concludes my report. I'd be glad to address any other questions or comments.
Does anyone have any questions?
Frank, you mentioned on the PSC&G project on West Central, you said there's a holiday stoppage. Do they plan to go back to it?
Well, my understanding is they would plan on construction thereafter the holidays, but then shortly after they complete that work, paving is going to be occurring this spring.
Oh, no, the reason I was approached by a few of the residents in town saying that the paving that's there now is really pretty bad. So
Agreed.
If they're going to go back to work in another week or so...
They are. What they were doing was they weren't doing a holiday stoppage just so the residents, if they had any visitors, they could access their properties.
Do you have any, do they give you any time frame as to how much longer it would be when they restart?
They haven't. They did not. They just wanted to be cognizant of the residents and the events occurring.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? Correct. The road itself.
Sure.
I know we discussed with the meeting with them that we're looking to get a full paving of that because it's been open so long, the damage that might be underneath there because of that. We're not with that.
Exactly. We concur, Mayor. At that meeting, we voiced our opinion that it should be full width paving. It should not be just partial width paving, just because of the amount of time that the roadway's been left open, the ability for water to infiltrate, and the heaving and frost thawing that we anticipate occurring this winter. It's our position, and we're going to push forward, and if need be, with the help of the borough attorney, to make sure that that roadway's paved full width.
Okay, great. Thank you. And obviously, next year, which will be in a few weeks, we're going to push forward with Phase 2, initiating Phase 2 of the streetscape project, and we'll get some kind of ideas going forward on that one as well.
Great.
And that's all. If there's no further questions, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great holiday.
You too.
Merry Christmas. Are there any items on or off the agenda? Okay. Open meeting to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to be heard? Please. Joe, did you want to speak? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you had your hand up.
Hi, Arlene Fornisano, Edel Avenue, Maywood. I'm on recycling, and what upsets me most is we don't have a collection anymore for computers, TVs, microwaves, or anything like that. And I remember when we had E-Revival put a dumpster down there, and I realized that we then had to pay them to remove it. But I happened to call them, and they told me the big guy, 6'9", so that only could be Roy, has been bringing down computers and TVs. And I assume those are the ones that are left on the street. But he said Roy is, the big guy has been bringing them down there.
They're not. People have been illegally dumping equipment at the DPW fence, which is why we have cameras installed there.
Okay.
So basically he's taking it little at a time to get rid of it, because otherwise it just sits there, because no one else will take it.
Well, I know that, but if they put them on, the gentleman told me that if they put them on the truck and you bring them down there, they will take them at no cost. So I don't know why you can't have a collection spot there. I know theirs was taken away, but we do have a gentleman on the DPW who is a builder. Perhaps he can construct something that they can house the equipment in there till it gets full and the DPW can take it down there, because people are just leaving them on the street. They're taking little microwaves and putting them in plastic bags, and it's going into the dump. And I think we have to be conscientious about the environment.
Well,
So,
the company is able to take that equipment to BCWay themselves. As
but you know what the thing is?
Military.
It's holding it for years, for a whole year. And if you miss that collection in April, you're stuck with it for another year, as opposed to going up to Camp Gore, which is out of the way.
They do have multiple-
The recycling committee does do a once a year.
Not computers.
Not anymore, because
Not anymore.
they charge us. This is just a new development. So they're charging us in bulk now, so that's not something we can do before.
But you know what, they also have down here, it's suitable clients for fundraising services. So perhaps Lisa Shealy could look into this a little bit further, but I really think it's a service to the residents and also to the environment to keep this stuff out of the dump, especially, electronics like that. So I will leave this with you.
Please, thank you.
The gentleman here was very nice. He told me the big guy, 6'9". I assume it's Roy.
Probably a good safe bet.
And this is another thing. You can take a look at that.
Thank you, Ron.
You can bring that up. I
Thank you.
know that's also for schools.
Maybe we should talk about this at the main team meeting.
I know, but
Do you have
it's
copies of
also
these?
for schools. You can see them.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing no one else, we'll close the meeting to the public. Approval of minutes. Is there a motion for the approval of the November 10th, 2015 work session and November 24th, 2015 council meeting and closed session minutes?
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino?
Yes.
Seer?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Okay, presentation of bills and claims and request for public comment. The clerk has presented the bill resolution. Is there any member of the public wishing to be heard on with regard to the bills alone? Seeing no one, is there a motion for the approval?
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call.
Trevino?
Yes.
Seer?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
All right, correspondence and report of the Borough Clerk.
I have. Everybody received correspondence actually on the bus stop that we received from New Jersey Transit by the tennis club. That's something to review for January's meeting. And the agenda was modified with the last resolution on the use of the fire apparatus in Bergen County that came in the last minute, as well as the mayor will speak to you on a warning for a new business, Pleasant Avenue, or 130 West Pleasant, that we received the information. It would be pending planning board approval, but since we don't meet, or the proposed meeting time would be the end of January for a regular scheduled meeting, it's something you might want to think about putting on tonight. Other than that, I don't have anything other than to wish everybody very happy, healthy holiday season.
Thank you, Jim. Report of the Borough Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, I have a report I'd like to give in closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Committee reports. Councilman Davina.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have some updates from the library. There's a new staff member that started on November 23rd. 448 items were added to the collection in November. We also began purchasing items for the Wolfson Classical Music Collection. And the adult programs continue. On November 17th, they had a cruise program. On December 8th, a local author came in and conducted a writer's workshop. And the youth services program still continues. They have story time. Those were on December 2nd, 9th, and the 16th, and they will pick up again after the holidays. Bedtime stories are on Wednesdays from 6 to 7. And they've started a family Lego club, which meets on the third Monday at 5:30. And chess club, craft Tuesdays, and Build and Battle are held Monday to Wednesday after school. And at this point, we're still interviewing architects for consideration on renovations to the young adult and children's room.
As paid for by the Hackworth Foundation.
Yes.
We got to make sure we get that in there.
Yep. And outside of that, I just want to wish everybody great time off for the holidays and hope you get to spend some relaxing time with family.
Thank you, Mr. Davina. Councilman DeHare.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One official item. The building department continued to be busy. As of today, this month they collected $7,807 in permit fees. So they were steady all year long. And if I may, I just want to say wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a very happy and blessed New Year. I'd like to thank Councilman Eisenberg for his service to the council and to the town. I wish him all the best. And I'd like to thank my fellow councilmen, the borough clerk, borough attorney, and everyone at Borough Hall for my first year in helping me out. And I really appreciate everybody's support. And I look forward to serving the town again in 2016. It's been a privilege, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Eisenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Messer and I concluded with all 428 chapters of the borough ordinances. So here's the latest synopsis in what we've done. The ordinances refer to a BOCA code, which has since been replaced with the International Code Council, so that's just a text change, a reference. With respect to dumpsters, there's an ordinance that dumpsters need to be on a paved surface, but that doesn't provide for an empty lot where new construction is going on and there's nothing paved. Cooking oil is not included in the list of other oils that have to be properly recycled. A lot of people are using turkey fryers and disposing of a large quantity of oil, and that should be subject to the same recycling as motor oil or any other type of oil. Also in recycling, it refers to aluminum and ferrous cans, but it refers to them separately, where it should refer to all metal cans in all of the references. Under recycling, it refers to an enforcement officer who is the director of solid waste management. It's not clear whether that's the DPW superintendent or the borough administrator, and that should be clarified. Under rent control, there's some gender neutrality. It says salesman and it should say salesperson. Animal shelters and hospitals, 333-7 states no person shall maintain an animal shelter or animal hospital in the borough. Obviously we've got one, so it appears that one's grandfathered, but we might want to take a look at allowing others just for competition purposes and, to open up so that, basically any business of that nature could open in this town. Unfit buildings and dwellings, landlords are obligated to furnish heat at 70 degrees between October 1st and June 1st from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. that doesn't consider the fact that once in a while you get a cold day in September, and it also doesn't consider the fact that the landlord could lower it to as low as 50 degrees after 11 p.m. at night and leave it at 50 from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. It probably should be 24/365 as needed, rather than specifying time periods and dates. Under communicable diseases, it lists a whole host of diseases, many of which there's vaccines for, and they're very rare today, but it doesn't list more modern diseases like Ebola, for example. I'm sorry, yes, Mr. Messer pointed out, that has to do with funerals. So people who die and have one of these communicable diseases, they can't have a public funeral. And it doesn't list any of the more modern diseases, so potentially some more modern, some more broad terminology, such as, diseases outlined by the CDC or the World Health Organization might be a little bit better. For example, polio is on there, and it's very rare today. Just a couple of spelling errors, and then under cable franchises, some stuff to look at about how many drops we get, and Bell Atlantic is described still, and it should be Verizon. And that concludes the ones that I did, and there was one other that Mr. Messer brought to my attention today, which was vaping. We have a tobacco ordinance. The tobacco can't be sold to children, but it doesn't say anything about vaping products which may have nicotine but aren't derived necessarily from tobacco. And Mr. Messer suggested, and I agree with him, that perhaps we broaden that to include vaping products not be sold to anyone under 18, and also paraphernalia for it. So that concludes all the ordinances. I wanted to take a minute to speak to everybody, as this is my last council meeting. Serving in elected office was something that I always wanted to do. It's one of those things that I'm very happy I've done in life. I leave with a much better understanding of how local government works and how my tax dollars are spent. With elections, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but I believe any candidate that runs always wins. The experience is just an invaluable education that you just can't match. You can't learn it in a classroom. You can't read it in a book. You just have to do it and experience it. I'm glad that my successor is female. I think going 4 years without a woman on the council was not the best for Maywood. I hope more women throw their hat in the ring and we have a more balanced council in the future. I'd like to thank the residents for allowing me to serve these past years. I want to thank all of the people that regularly show up, John Brown, Mady, Arlene, Ron and Donna, who aren't here, and Joey. You're always at every council meeting. You make good government. I wish more people would show up like you. And just wanted to thank you for your attendance. I want to thank my colleagues for their hard work and their dedication. They spend countless hours doing this job for no pay. Maywood is one of 2 municipalities that provides no compensation to its elected officials, and that's something I would urge them to think about amending in the future. Finally, I want to thank my family for giving me the time to serve. There were a lot of events and family things that I had to miss because of this. And they were patient with me, and I'm grateful to them for that. I want to wish everybody, both here on the dais and in the audience, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you. That concludes.
Thank you, Councilman Eisenberg.
Thank you.
Councilman Messer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No official report. Just say a few things. Maintaining the theme of gender neutrality, I want to thank Councilperson Eisenberg for his service to the borough the past 3 years. I want to say that I look forward to working with Councilperson Padavano come the new year. And I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Lindenau.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Other than wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thanking Mr. Eisenberg for his service the past 3 years. Enjoy, everybody. That's all I have.
Thank you. Council President Moroni.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of quick announcements. The Historical Society on December 27th is having a bus tour event for viewing the holiday lights here in Maywood, beginning at the Senior Center. And again, on January 17th at 2 p.m., there's going to be 9 inductees to the Maywood Hall of Fame. That's going to take place down at the Senior Center as well, and that is a Sunday. I want to wish Mr. Eisenberg a very healthy and happy Hanukkah and a Happy New Year. It was really enjoyable running with you initially back 3 years ago, and I think we all benefited from being on the council while we were here, so I really do appreciate your time and efforts.
Thank you.
And as everybody knows here, it does take a lot of time away from the family, so we appreciate the time you put in. Everyone, please have a very blessed and healthy and happy holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just a couple quick announcements. I'd like to thank the County of Bergen for the loan of their ladder truck while ours is out of service. The recycling calendars will be out by the first week of January, so look for those. As the end of the year approaches, we always look back and reflect on the last 365 days. We have much to be grateful for in this little mile square town that we all share with one another. I'd like to say that I am grateful for the folks up here that serve alongside me, both paid and volunteer, that dedicate their time and energy each day in order to make Maywood a better place to live for all of us. It's with that in mind that I would like to recognize the service of 2 individuals who have dedicated so much of their precious time in service to the Maywood Fire Department, and that's Henry Miller and Harry Hellenius, who, if you looked at the agendas, have submitted their resignations. Both men have served this community for a combined almost 100 years. Harry has been a Maywood firefighter for 42 years, having joined the fire department in August of 1973. And ex-chief Henry Miller is 1 month shy of 57 years, having joined the department in January 1959. These men are true examples of what it means to be a Maywood volunteer. So on behalf of the Borough of Maywood, I say thank you to them. And finally, I'd like to recognize Councilman Eisenberg for his service to our community over these last 3 years. Except for those who have served, not many people realize the commitment and dedication that it takes to do all the things that are necessary and required as a member of this governing body. And it's for that reason that even in the face of political differences, there's a respect and camaraderie that goes along with being up here. Derek, I believe that every member of this council that has served with you is better for having done so. I personally have learned a great deal from our interactions and have grown not only as a member of this governing body, but also as a person. And so on behalf of myself, the council, and the borough, I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We have a plaque that I'd like to give to you. I'd like to present to you on behalf of the mayor, council, and the borough. Pat, you want to do it down there?
Yeah.
That's cool. Just really quick, I'll read it up here because I don't want the microphone, although you probably hear me, but it reads, presented by the Borough of Maywood to Derek P. Eisenberg, with sincere appreciation of your dedicated service to our community in serving the borough as a council member, and has the dates January 7, 2013 through December 31st, 2015.
And take some fancy camera.
As I've mentioned, resignations, acceptance of the following: Henry Miller and Harry Helene, members of the Maywood Fire Department, Undyne Host Company Number 1, effective December 22nd, 2015. Is there a motion to adopt the resignations?
Move to accept.
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino.
Here?
Didier.
Yes.
Eisenberg.
Yes.
Messer.
Yes.
Lindner.
Yes.
Maroney. Yes.
Appointments approval of the following. I'm glad we know that you're here twice, Mr. Chairman.
I almost sit here also.
In case you thought you were missing. Ray Shattuck as a part-time telecommunicator for the Maywood Police Department at a salary of $20 per hour, effective 12/22/2015. Is there a motion for the appointment to be accepted?
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Trevino.
Yes.
Didier.
Yes.
Eisenberg.
Yes.
Messer.
Yes.
Lindner.
Yes.
Maroney. Yes.
Council approval of the following. 1, removal of Parth Shah from the Maywood Fire Department as a junior firefighter, effective December 22nd, 2015. Number 2, from Our Lady Queen of Peace Church, requesting permission for their annual bingo license and instant raffle license, effective January 7th, 2016 to December 22nd, 2016. Is there a motion for the approval?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino.
Yes.
Didier.
Yes.
Eisenberg.
Yes.
Messer.
Yes.
Lindner.
Yes.
Maroney. Yes.
Resolutions by title.
Resolution 15715, resolution authorizing the Borough Clerk of the Borough of Maywood, emergent power to act in the absence of the Borough Administrator in the Borough of Maywood, Bergen County, New Jersey. Resolution 15815, a resolution ratifying and confirming the purchase of a scheduling software for with training for the Maywood Police Department with funds from the DEA account. Resolution 15915, resolution authorizing the redemption of a tax sale certificate for Block 61, Lot 35. Resolution 16015, resolution scheduling date for the 2016 reorganization meeting. Resolution 16115, resolution authorizing cancellation of outstanding checks. Resolution 16215, transfer of funds number 2. Resolution 16315, resolution approving settlement of dog incident summons SC001731 between the Borough of Maywood, Bergen County, New Jersey. Resolution 16415, resolution authorizing Mayor Adrian Fabre and Borough Administrator Roberta Stern to execute all forms relating to New Jersey DEP TWA sewer permit relating to the sanitary sewer improvements. Resolution 16515, authorizing execution of a shared service agreement with the County of Bergen for short-term emergency sharing of fire apparatus.
Is there a motion for the adoption?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Trevino.
Yes.
Didier.
Yes.
Eisenberg.
Yes.
Messer.
Yes.
Lindner.
Yes.
Maroney. Yes.
Gentlemen, as the clerk mentioned before, there is a resolution with regard to the awning. And it does have to go to the planning board. We could deal with it tonight, or we can wait till the reorganization. Their next meeting is the 7th, so it's 2 days after ours. I asked the clerk to prepare the resolution just in case we were okay with going forward tonight. If there are any questions, the clerk is up to date on this, so if anyone has any questions with regard to it, or if they just want to wait until the reorganization, that's fine as well.
Which property is it?
It's at 130 West Pleasant Avenue. It's up by Mario's. It's a tax preparer. There's already an awning there. We're just replacing it, basically, same size. Mr. Mason has explained.
I'm sorry, you said Mr. Mazur has...
He explained that it's the same size as what's currently there, just different, actually a picture. It's called Union Tax, and I believe they have the CO for it. You can take a look at the application that they provided.
Because the only other problem would be, other than size, would be limitation on colors.
Correct, but he says it's within the approved. The gentleman's going before the planning board for another reason as well.
Okay.
If you want to put something on the curb or something.
This is basically just regard to the
But this
whole
is just,
harmless.
this is just for the fact that the awning does cover part of the street that we do this agreement.
You guys at the other planning board will have to say with regard to college.
Right. I mean,
I was just curious if it was...
It would be
off the
pending-
wall or if it was...
Is it sticking out?
yeah, it's like it's like all the it's like all the others. And it would be pending planning board approval, of course.
Jan?
Jan, it's my understanding that this is a formality, what we're doing here? Is that
Yes,
correct?
we do this for any time there's a change in awning or putting up a new awning.
Okay.
Anytime there's any change, because the property owner, not even the renter, the property owner has to sign off the liability, because it's on borough property, basically it's paying over borough property.
Ron, is there any issues with the council approving this tonight?
There is not.
Okay.
I see there is one.
Same size.
I just want to make sure.
So we can just say that, we need to make a motion to include resolution 166-15.
Correct. Pending planning board approval. Motion second.
Yeah, it should be 16.
Right.
166.
166.15. Hello, everybody.
It's the first number that goes.
Yeah, I got it.
The other one's actually the year. I know it's coincidence.
I'm new here. We only went to 165 to get to this, but
Just taking a quick poll, is everybody okay with putting these on tonight and voting on it?
I'm okay.
All right, well then, let's have
okay, resolution yes, read it by title,
Yeah, please.
16615, resolution authorizing the granting of a street encroachment license for 130 West Pleasant Avenue, block 83, lot 8, and the execution of an indemnity and hold harmless agreement therefore, pending planning board approval.
for a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Trevino?
Yes.
Didier?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
All right, is there any new business? Is there any old business? And is there any miscellaneous business? We do have a closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed? So moved. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
We are about to go to close. Before that, once again, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you guys all for coming throughout the year. Tell a friend next year. And Reverend Duncan, we will see you next year. First thing next year.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Be resolved by the Mayor and Council, Borough Maywood, pursuant to provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, the Mayor and Council in closed session to discuss the following subject matters. Personnel, be it further resolved, decided to determine the time of discussion conducted in closed session, we can close the public department. Provide disclosure of violations of the building, council is going to be practiced, further resolved, the Mayor and Council Borough Maywood, do not envision a return to open session at this meeting, but reserve the right to do so.
Don't put rings in it. Don't put rings in it.
I kept you here this whole time.
Don't put rings in it. This is